Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about population growths. All right, so we're going to talk about how a population can change in size. So um, remember, a population is a group of organisms that are the same species in an area. And that area could be very different. You could literally talk about the population of ants in my backyard versus the population of dogs in Dublin versus the human population on Earth. Those are all the same species of a certain area. So population is it can be kind of a broad term. All right, but it only just includes one species at a time. And so we're going to talk about what impacts the growth of a population, and then two different types of what we call growth curves, exponential and logistical growth curves. And we're going to be using my handy dandy whiteboard to do that. So just because I kind of talk about some of the actual curves, I could actually teach at the board today. So we're just going to talk about the actual shape of the curves and what they actually look like and what it kind of means. And then I'm going to do a separate video on how to calculate the amount of growth, exponential and logistic, because that can be a little bit tricky, a little bit mathy, and I don't want this video to be 25 minutes long or anything like that. So here we go. All right, so hopefully you guys got your handy dandy notebooks. All right, so we're going to talk about the things that impact the growth of a population, species, and then we're going to look about what that could do to a population. We're going to include some vocabulary there. So things that can make a population grow in size. Some of them are pretty obvious. And so we'll just start with the most obvious one. The thing that's going to make a population change in size is having more organisms, the birth rate. All right. Now, the birth rate, another name for birth rate is the nativity rate. After World War II, when a lot of soldiers came home back to America, they ended up kind of setting down with their families and having a lot of babies, and that's what we call the baby boom for boomers. We had this huge growth because we had a lot of babies born in the few decades right after World War II. That was a huge spike in the nativity rate, right? Well, what others is going to affect that is not only just about the nativity rate, but how that actually compares to the opposite of the birth rate, the death rate. The death rate is also known as the mortality rate. And these two things together, how they relate to each other affects the growth rate, right? And this is pretty common sense, right? If you have more individuals being born than dying, you're growing. If you have more individuals dying than being born, you're decreasing in size, right? So that's going to determine our growth rate. All right, that's going to be kind of one of the biggest aspects of it. All right, about what's going to change the size of the population. Obviously, things along with that is immigration or migration. Right, that's immigration and emigration. Immigration is coming into an area. Emigration with an E, E-M-I. Immigration is leaving an area. So you have to do both. If you're going to go from one country to another, you emigrate from your home country and immigrate into a new country. All right, the last one is something we're going to talk a little bit more about in another video. And it doesn't impact humans quite as much anymore, but it did for 99% of our human history, and that is the predator-prey relationship. We don't really have that many more predators as humans. Natural predators, I should say. Things can still kill us, but they're not necessarily our predator. All right. But for, like I said, 99.9% of human history, that was a major factor. But we are now predators, and so we can make this impact on how the size of a population. In fact, we do that very drastically as humans, change population sizes of organisms as predators. All right, but we'll talk a little bit more about that one next time. So predator-prey. So these are the impacts that things can do. We're going to really focus on these two right here because they focus on the growth rate. So if I have the number of people, again, let's just stick with humans. It could be zebras or whatever, number of people over time. All right. If things are going really, really well, all right, we have an abundance of food. We have very low predators. All right. Things are going well, kind of as they saw in the video. You have good access to medicine. Education typically finds this one here. Another reason why you should be getting your education. Literally, science facts or science research has shown that education leads to healthier or a longer life. You're going to get started. You're going to get a lot of babies, a lot of growth in the population. Your population is going to kind of start to kind of grow dramatically. All right. You're going to get this big spike in the growth rate. All right. This right here is what we call exponential growth. It's exponential growth, where basically you are getting more and more and more and more individuals, where you're getting this upward curve. All right, we're getting exponential growth in this curve. It's some sort of function. You can find the function just depending on the organism of what exponential rate it is, but we have an exponential rate growing up there. All right, but if you think about it in an area, and let's think realistically for a moment, if we have a small area, let's say in Dublin, just to keep it easy, and say we stay in quarantine, right? If we keep having more and more people, eventually we're going to run out of food, right? Food is going to become a resource that becomes scarce. If you're an organism who has a predator, the more of you there are, the more chances for you to get eaten, right? The more rabbits there are, the more likely wolves are going to be able to eat and do well. All right. And so eventually you kind of hit kind of like a cap on your population. All right. And where you would see this growth in this population, you continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And then you kind of hit kind of leveling off point. All right. And then from there, your population might kind of go up and down, kind of around that cap point, just kind of depending on how things are going. You kind of go up to, maybe past your population limit and then kind of go back down, but then you're doing okay. So you kind of recover. You get kind of this kind of wavy or flatline curve. Sometimes it's a little bit wavy. Sometimes it's pretty flat. It just depends on the organism. All right. You get what we call here, this whole spot right here, all right, is what we call logistic curve. Or logistic growth. Did I spell that right? I think I spelled that right. Sorry, brain fart. All right, logistic curve. You have a logistic curve, and now notice my graph here has both exponential and logistical curve. All right. If it was just this top part, this is just what we call exponential. We never have a graph. We rarely ever have a graph that just a logistic curve, because you have to have that growth and then you hit this cap. This cap has a very specific name. All right. So there's this limit here. It seems like it can't really get much higher than this right here. So it seems whatever this number here on this graph, this seems to be kind of the max that this population can grow. This limit here is what we call the carrying capacity. And this is a big one. This is a big one, carrying capacity. All right. This is basically the limit or the maximum amount of or the maximum number of individuals an environment can hold for a species. Again, the maximum number of individuals an environment can hold for a species. And there's lots of limits. How many predators there are, how much food is available, all right? How much, the life expectancy, all right? In fact, of like medicine and things like that. All those things can change your carrying capacity. Carrying capacity can change. In fact, we're trying to do that right now. Humans are a very interesting case. We break a lot of these natural laws because of Honestly, our intelligence. All right, we're able to break through a lot of these things. We keep increasing our carrying capacity through technology using like GMO foods and penicillin, which was used in medicine to to fight bacterial infections. All of a sudden, lifespan increased, and so more individuals could live in an area. You could live longer because there wasn't that cap anymore. So carrying capacity can change. All right, and so logistical curves have to include carrying capacity. At the exponential, and when we have exponential rate right here, we're underneath the carrying capacity, and so we have plenty of room to grow, if you will. All right, but after a while, we're going to run out of space, and whether it's physical space or resource space or whatever it is, we're going to kind of hit that cap. And a lot of times you'll dance kind of up just above it and just below it. Sometimes you'll just see kind of just flat. It just kind of depends. All right. But this here is my carrying capacity. So whatever number would be here would be my value for my carrying capacity. All right. Trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to say. Oh, sorry to interrupt real quick. I forgot to add one thing that I forgot to put in the original video. Exponential growth curves, the ones that just keep going up and up, are also called J curves because they kind of look like a J, that they keep just going up and up and up and up. And logistic curves, because they kind of flatten off, they are also called S curves because they give that kind of that S shape. All right, you gonna say bye? Bye. All right, sorry. Back to the regular scheduled programming. Okay, so next time on my other video, we're going to talk about how to calculate carrying capacity, natality, and mortality rate. But this one was just about kind of the big picture. So these things can impact the population, but eventually you're going to get to this point here where if it levels off, we have a growth rate where natality and mortality kind of balance each other out. In fact, you might even get kind of a downward turn a little bit, in which case the mortality rate is greater than the natality rate. And we see this the logistical curve. Exponential does not include carrying capacity because we're well underneath the limit. We have growth. So again, if I gave you a curve that includes both things like this, I would say that this is a logistic curve right now. But if I just gave you this is an exponential growth curve. All right, because if it's including carrying capacity, we are talking logistical curve. Okay, all right. If you didn't get some of those definitions like natality, mortality, carrying capacity, that's a big one. Just go back and watch the video again. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Good luck, and may the science be with you. Bye.